Hey, Yetta, how can you tell who's having the most amount of fun when they're playing a game?
The one that's laughing, the one that's smiling.
It's not the one that's winning?
Well, usually it's one and the same, isn't it? If it's you.
For me, yeah.
Exactly.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
So we're excited to welcome you to free access. Like we've created over 587 licensed sidetrack episodes. You get access to them from home, office, or on the go. And the great news is they're about real estate, building wealth, insider tips, really how to make the most of what you have. Right? And in this episode, we're going to discover that the teammates that you have on the wealth journey aren't only the ones that you'd expect. There's some bonus teammates.
Wow.
And we're going to explore that.
And that affects my game is who I'm playing with. Not only like if you're in partnership, because one of the things we love to play is canasta, and we play it as couples or as three couples. And most of the time we divide up as men against women or, something like that. And you really want to play with me.
As my partner.
Yes.
You are playing.
And why is that?
Because we understand we understand each other's way of playing. And we play to each other's hand, and we play to each other's strengths, and we play to each other's weaknesses. And when we're in opposition to each other, we know what's happening to the other person or what's about to happen. So we usually have a good debate about who's going to sit on the right or the left of each other because you can affect their game
a lot.
And so I think it's fun to have teammates that actually, you do better in the game when you have a teammate that you trust. Do you understand the rationale? You know why they're doing what they're doing, not just what they're going to do, but why they're going to do and when they're going to shift. And so when it comes to building wealth, having people on your team that believe like you believe, because sometimes we've had different financial people on our team that didn't believe it was about giving it away. That one of the big reasons for creating wealth is so that you can do good with the money.
Or reach a certain amount of money and stop working.
Right.
So they need to understand the rules of the game that you're going to be playing. If you've been in business with them for quite some time, it becomes very natural and nice if they're in tune with you. Just like when we play cards, we have an intuition of what the other person's doing, why they're doing something. And it's important that when you have a wealth partners, which might be your lawyer, your accountant, your financial advisor, your investment person. You almost forgot real estate agent.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
And even your handyman, your mortgage specialist, your inspectors of different varieties that you might need when you're purchasing property, or people that are going to be consulting you on behalf of what's the best strategy, bylaw departments. Like the professional team is huge. And there's lots of episodes we've talked about your professional team when it comes to building wealth through real estate, and not only through real estate, but that's where our expertise is, right? That's where we've helped the most people and done the best ourselves. When we've navigated out of that, we haven't done as well. And when we've done things we don't understand, even in the context of real estate, we haven't done as well.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Right? And so those teammates are kind of expected. So if you're thinking, I need a clarity conversation, I need 15 minutes of your time, Ken and Yetta, just to get a sense of what my next step is. Should I be doing this? Who can you introduce me to add to my team? I have these players I trust, but I need some other teammates. And so it could just be that in our clarity call. You can just reach us at the office. You can give us a call, or you can email us together@dekkerteam.com, and we will move that conversation just one step forward. Because that's part of playing the game too.
Yep.
Is not trying to play the whole game at a time, play one little strategic step. And when you have teammates that are the right teammates, they know how to pass it back to you and how to set you up for the next great play.
And you know what's really fun is when now the next generation is enjoying canasta. So we have the grandkids, several of them are playing with us.
And the kids. So you
our
mean
kids
all three
and
and
the
my
grandkids.
parents. So we got 4 generations.
Yeah, sometimes we get a little tournament going. We need more than one table going because the game slows down at 6 people, and I don't think we've ever played with 8. So it's better to play with 2 groups of 4. At any rate, but what's interesting is most people alleviate or don't include their children in their wealth game. Because it's like private, I don't want my kids to know we're in debt. I don't want my kids to know what we're invested in. I don't want my kids to know how much money we have. And one of the things we found was it's around mindset. And we taught our kids, we included our kids in financial decisions, in when we were going to move, why we were going to move. We included them in those decisions with the pros and cons and everything. But what's really significant?
Well, I think one, and I don't know if this is where you're going.
Okay.
So he's just set me up maybe for a fall and maybe to rise high to the heights.
Yeah.
But something significant that we learned with our kids when they were younger, we would say to them, we can't afford that. We can't afford that, rather than involving them in the decision and letting them see whether it was a wise decision or not.
Yes.
So it's not can we or can't we, it's is it the best choice?
We choose not to, let's get this new, the kids would start going, well, let's go on a trip, or let's buy this car, or let's buy a camping trailer. And we go, no, we choose not to. That's not a priority for us, as opposed to we can't afford that. It's a huge mindset change.
And sometimes we actually didn't have the cash to be able to buy it. So it wasn't like we always could get it, but if it was essential, you always find a way for the essential priorities.
Yeah.
And so everything is a choice, even if there isn't enough money in the bank. And that was a really big thing for us to change. And now I've watched our kids live that and the grandkids live that. So it's more about not what you do with your money, which I think is where you were going. It's about letting your kids see what you're doing with your money. And why.
Yes. And another thing we did was we took our kids to financial seminars. We took them at 12 and 15 to Steve Harvecker in his millionaire mindset, right?
Harvecker.
Harvecker? Got that wrong? Yeah. It was close. That's pretty good.
Very good. Very good.
And we went down for a 3-day seminar in Toronto, brought our kids, learned money mindsets together. That's what I call generational wealth. It's not, generational wealth isn't like we just give a sack full of money when we die to charity or to our kids or their kids.
Or strangers.
That's a little piece of it. But it's what do we teach them? I remember we would do a game called Cash Flow by Robert Kiyosaki. And at the time we were
leading the College and
Career Group. Yep. And we would play that game with them because we wanted to instill wealth ideas into the College and Career Group. And our son would play with us, and he was 12.
Yeah. He was
11,
a kid.
12.
Yeah.
And he knew this stuff so well that they would be asking him for advice. Should I buy this investment or should I not buy this investment? It was fascinating. And he'd go around from player to player and coach them.
And they were in their 20s. So it was actually really, really cool to watch. The knowledge he had learned as a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old was actually making an impact in other people's lives, right?
So it's important that we all recognize there is no monopoly on living a wealthy life. And we're privileged and passionate that we can help you be, and all of us be positioned for generational legacy.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.